I'll teach you to fear my Nanto Suichoken!
Ooh, I'll bet this one is a real beauty.
Come on, let's see your face.
Do you men have any food?
Oh yeah, I've got what you're looking for right here. We'll
Really?
take good care of
I think I'll take some now.
it. What? Hey, a man!
Even if I must eat mud, I will survive.
In this age of sorrow, there was a man who cursed the path fate chose for him. To survive, he betrayed his allies. To secure food, he murdered the weak. As the earth was parched and blackened by the nuclear blasts, so was his heart. His hands were permanently stained with the blood of his victims. His eyes were sharp with the hunger of a ravenous wolf. His name was Ray, one of the 6 Nanto masters. He lived for one purpose, and one purpose only: to exact revenge on the man who murdered his parents and kidnapped his sister, the man with the 7 scars on his chest. Vengeance would be his.
Ray! My brother!
I can hear her. I can hear Airi calling out to me.
Chapter 1: The Nanto Wanderer.
Come on, I'll take you all on. I don't care how many there are.
Kill them all!
You there! Please help us! We'll give you anything you want! Just get rid of these guys!
Anything, huh? Fine. I'll take care of it.
Hello and welcome to Ray's Legend mode. This level takes place slightly before Kenshiro met Ray, though we are still fighting the Fang clan. Surprise, I said we were done with them, and we're not. Now, the developers of Ken's Rage were kind enough to create entirely new mechanics for every martial arts style.
I'll never forget this.
And Ray also has a ton of smaller nuances to him, like the fact that he runs way faster than Kenshiro. Like, way faster. His attacks also don't reach as far, so you need to be way closer to your enemies than Kenshiro does.
Wow! Nice going, idiot!
His combos also have more diversity to them than Kenshiro's. For example, once you use a heavy attack in one of Kenshiro's combos, that's the end of the combo, no more. But after you use a heavy attack in Ray's combo, you can go back to using light attacks if you want. It's pretty swell. Ray can also grab people like Kenshiro, but he can't run around with them because he's not that strong. Now, you're seeing the screen turn blue right now. This happens whenever we weaken an enemy enough to activate this special mode. A giant triangle button prompt will appear, and if we press it, the screen turns blue, and all of our triangle attacks change to that huge slash we were doing. In that mode, that huge slash kills every normal enemy almost instantly. So it's super useful. We can also activate that special mode by pressing the triangle button just before an enemy's attack hits us, but the same prompt will appear. So yeah, not bad at all, is it? Literally completely different from Kin's mechanics, in almost every way. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. There's our signature move, the Flying Swallow. It hits enemies all around us, unlike Kin's first attack, the 100 Crack Fist. But like the 100 Crack Fist, the Flying Swallow isn't very strong.
Our blood has been spilled! Destroy the entire village! Turn your back!
So yes, of course Ray can still throw explosive barrels. I mean, that's essential.
I just feel like killing you all today.
You may notice that the enemies in this level are not appearing in very large numbers, and that's because in addition to this being Ray's first level, Ray's mechanics are different enough that he can't handle as many enemies as Kenshiro can. At least not at the start. His levels also tend to be somewhat shorter, but I think that's because they put most of their budget into Ken's story mode. But as you've already seen, by the diversity in mechanics between characters, that certainly didn't mean they decided to be lazy with it. Well, mostly they didn't decide to be lazy with it anyway. This is one of Ray's unique levels. But every character goes through the same levels as Kenshiro in some way or another, at some point in their story mode. In fact, some of the characters have story modes that are just repeats of Kenshiro's levels, which is a shame. But considering how goddamn awesome Kenshiro's Legend mode is, I think I can forgive that. So the Fang clan in this mission is just standing around the villagers in a circle and shooting at them. And they don't even notice you until you pick up this barrel or start attacking them. But by then it's far too late.
You monsters! What is the color of your blood?
Okay, Ray, just try to calm down a little bit, buddy. By default, Ray's dodges are much faster than Kenshiro's, so I don't think he gets a speed boost from dodging in the middle of a combo like Kenshiro does. But there's also the fact that he can literally dash infinitely. Just keep pressing that dash button as much as you want. He can even dash directly into a combo. It's hard to get the timing down for that, but it's possible and it's very useful if you can manage it.
You won't kill any more of my brothers! Feel the power of Kazan
Bring it
Gudroken!
on. You're all pathetic. You've got nothing on Nanto Seiken.
So the game told us to destroy 20 enemies, but instead of spawning all 20 enemies at once, it spawns smaller groups. And sometimes it can spawn more than 20 enemies because the groups are not evenly numbered. It may feel like the game's kinda taking it easy on you, but like I said, Ray's mechanics are completely different. So it's appropriate that the game design is different to fit that. And this is also the first level. So even though we can throw enemies in the same fashion as Kenshiro, the animation and hit detection of the throw is quite different. Kenshiro's throw goes in the air, somewhat straight but also upward. Ray's throw goes downward first and then upward. This makes it way easier to hit objects that are just lying on the ground, and enemies for that matter. And of course, all the mechanics that don't involve character-specific traits are still in place, like we still get smash bonuses from throwing enemies into objects, as you're about to see. And it does still refill our spirit meter completely.
It's hopeless! We don't stand a chance!
Out of my way!
Alright, it's time to see Ray's hyper signature move, which is that signature move we can only use while we're in spirit mode. Ray's hyper signature move, instead of only hitting one enemy, is capable of hitting multiple. Kin's Fist of Penitence can only kill one enemy, but it also has a much less awkward hitbox, so that's the trade-off. Now from here we could proceed directly to the boss fight. But instead of that, let's go backwards and take out some of the optional missions. Here's one. Now, the optional missions for Rei's story levels are not as creative as Kenshiro's. Did you see that reaction time? But as I said, the optional missions in Rei's story mode are not as creative as Kenshiro's, but it's nice that they bothered to include them for everybody regardless. And it is very, very useful to get some power-ups for this upcoming boss fight. Depending on what order you play the game in, Mamiya might be the first boss you really struggle against. Oh, this guy doesn't even have any groupies with him. Alright, I think we can handle Mamiya now, so let's get back there. This boss fight makes me think that if any of the Dynasty Warriors games deserved a versus mode, it would be this one. But for some reason, Gundam Dynasty Warriors has a versus mode, and I can't even begin to explain that.
You shall soon know the terrible might of Nanto Suichoken.
I'm no woman. You're looking at Mamiya, the warrior.
So you're in charge, huh? Well, I held up my end of the bargain, so make her the reward.
Who are you to make demands after reducing the village to rubble? You're no better than the Fang Clan.
Mamiya has very, very powerful ranged attacks, so you want to get close to her ASAP. But she also moves very fast, so she's only open right after one of her attacks connects. But when you do start getting hits in on her, don't stop, just keep going. You can even counter some of her moves, as you saw just there, but not all of them. Whenever you do manage to activate this was a mistake. Don't do what I did. Whenever you do manage to activate this mode, you want to use your large slash on her as many times as possible. Don't bother with any of your other attacks. When you do find yourself far away from Mamiya, getting close to her again can be a bit of a pain. It is very possible to dodge all of her projectile attacks, but Rei's dodge being faster also comes at a price. It has way less invincibility frames. Thankfully, Mamiya's weakness is none other than her very first signature move, the Flying Swallow. Do not really bother using your hyper signature move, unless you're just trying to show off. Just stick with the Flying Swallow because that's what she's weak to. And as you just saw, trying to block her projectiles breaks our block instantly, so it doesn't work. And she's kinda tough before her health gets halfway down, but after that, yeah, she gains a pretty devastating move. Oh, this isn't it right here, don't be mistaken. Her move is that she fires her crossbow rapidly multiple times. Also, obviously, while she's in spirit mode, her crossbow shots have a much bigger hitbox. So that's dangerous. And her attacks are more likely to break... Oh, here it is. So yeah, in addition to being able to perform that move now, her attacks are way more likely to break our block. So in short, when Mamiya is in spirit mode, don't run away, because then she'll shoot you to death. But don't hit her, because then she'll hit you to death. Just like with Sheen, if you activate your own spirit mode, things will be fine, or if you use the Flying Swallow. Those are really the only two situations I would recommend trying to attack her while she has her spirit gauge activated. You would also do well to remember that your signature move cancels everyone else's attack, just like in a Dynasty Warriors game. So if you're getting your ass kicked and you have a signature move ready, smash that circle button. Only do this though if you're sure that you can't dodge out of the way, because signature moves in this game are important. They make or break these battles, so don't go wasting them.
That's quite a mouth you've got. I'd hate to see anything happen to it. Maybe I'll stick around. Ray is my name. You do well to remember it.